All right, favorite football team. All right, here we go. Time to get this party going here. Yeah, buddy. Okay, everybody, this is it. The big 4-0. The Bluenose is finished. We're gonna have a little party, a little celebration, and I'm going to show you what she looks like. Now, first thing I'm going to do here is I had 4 more things I had to get finished before I could call it done. And I had to put them little balls on the top of the mast, had to get my flag on, had to get my dory down on the ship, lashed down, and I had to get those little ropes on all the belay pins and that, so it looks like you got, some rope stored there. So I had to get those 4 things done, and I just now finished up the little balls on the top, so she's done. She is finished. So first thing I'm going to do though is show you, I ran over to Hobby Lobby because I had to get some little wooden balls. I was looking for some, and I'll show you what I got from over at Hobby Lobby. And then I'll get into some facts and figures on the ship, and then I'll rate it. Usually when I build a model, when I'm finished, I give a rating to the directions, to the plans, to the model itself and everything like that. And then at the end of this video, I'll post a bunch of pictures. Probably last time I did this, I had about 20-25 pictures of a model. Runs about 3 minutes long. So, and there'll be no music. I've done that once before. I edited in music, but it gets to be a pain in the ass because you got to make sure you find something that ain't copyrighted. Then you got to be careful what you're putting up. Make sure you got somebody's permission if you need it. So I just said to hell with it. It's more trouble to me, I think, than it's worth. And I'm not looking for no Academy Award on photography or anything like that. So it'll just be some still pictures with no sound at the end. And then I'll come back and give my final wrap up. So let me get the camera turned around here and we'll get down and I'll show you what I went over to Hobby Lobby and got. Just a few things so I could finish her up. But yeah, time to party. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you here is went over and was looking for some little round beads or balls or whatever I could find. Anything I could use that maybe I could cut down and make for the balls on the top of the mast. And I found this little bag here. Alright, and it's an assortment of sizes of little beads. And they're made out of wood. And it says there's 400 in this bag. Got them for $5. Now, I only needed 2, but I thought, hey, this could come in handy. Never know where I might need something like this. So there's 1,001 uses right there in the bag. And let me show you why I say that. All right, here's a couple of the bigger ones right here. And let me set this bag down so I don't wind up with 400 beads all over the carpet. Alright, and then there must be some, I don't know how many different sizes there are, but I picked out 3. Okay, and here's the little small ones that I used on the ship itself. Now they got a hole in them because they are beads, for jewelry or whatever. I just had to fill that little hole in with a little wood putty, sand it smooth, and then I got them on top of the ship. Matter of fact, let me show you a little still picture of that right now. Okay, there's my 2 little balls I put on top of the mast, and I just touched them up. I might need another coat on them. I have to look at them. But the 2 little balls, wooden balls that I put on top of the ship. And I read somewhere that this is something significant with ships. They got to have them little balls on top of their mast. So I got those two on, and actually this was the very last thing I had to do. Now, I got to looking at these, and I thought, you know what? That right there, these two, are about the size of a barrel that would be on this ship. Right there. All you got to do is fill in the holes on the end, put some little brass rings around it, or maybe just paint some kind of little ring around it, and right there is a barrel that would fit on that ship. That's just about the right size. Now these smaller ones, I got to looking at them. Let me bring one of these up here to you so you can see what I'm talking about. Right there. You could turn that into a barrel on a ship. Now the little ones. Okay. Let me get the darker one. Maybe it'll show up better in my hand. Right there. I figured you could take that, cut that in half this way, and draw out the hole a little bit bigger, and you got two little buckets. And I might just do that. I might cut one of them in half, make me a little bucket, and put in my dory. So like I said, there's 1,001 uses right here in these little beads. Okay, so then I picked up, I was just walking around, and I saw these little small clothespins. There's 50 in this bag, and right here they are, and they got a pretty good, they're got a good little stiff spring on them, so they're pretty nice. Those would be great for holding small pieces or doing whatever you got to do on this ship. I was using alligator clips in a few spots, but you know that the alligator clips have got them teeth on it, and sometimes they'll mar the wood. So I bought a bunch of these, and I thought, you know what, they'll probably come in handy. Little bitty small clothespins. Alright, and then I picked up some more chain, and this is what I say. You look in the jewelry department over there, $4, and I got some chain. Now this is like a dark copper color, almost, you know, if you dull it down a little bit, because it's awful shiny, but if you dulled it down a little bit, it would look like a rusted chain. See that? The links are real, look just like a regular chain on a ship. And they've got all kinds of this over there, all different sizes, bigger, smaller, whatever you want. So I just picked me up one more to put back in my stash, since I used some of it already on the ship. So that's what I picked up over there. So let me get reset here, and we'll start talking about the ship, and I'll show you a few things that I got finished on her. Okay, so I said I had 4 more things I had to finish up. And I think I'm going to do something a little different here. Instead of getting up and messing with the camera, trying to zoom in and out and move it around, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, and then I'm going to throw up a little still picture of it with a close-up shot. So there's the dory. I had to finish that up and get her lashed down on the deck. So let me show you a little close-up picture of that. Alright, and there's my flag. And supposedly that is the proper flag for this year. I believe Canada, and I found this out through stamp collecting, is celebrating their 50th year of their new flag. So this is the flag prior to the maple leaf. So this is the one I bought. I had to reorder and get this flag for this year of this ship. The one they give you in the kit is wrong. So there's my flag. Let me give you a little close-up shot of that. Okay, and the other thing I had to finish up, if you can see in here, I've got all them little pieces of string looking like rope hanging off of my belay pins. Alright, so I did that all around the bottom of both masts. Wherever I had rigging that came down to the ship and tied off somewhere, I did this. Alright, all my belay pins, a couple spots up here in the front of the ship, and wherever, like I said, wherever I had something that had to be tied off, I made sure I had that extra rope or rigging, whatever you want to call it, hanging there. And let me give you a couple close-up shots of that around the different spots, and then I'll show you the little jig. I showed it to you in the last video, but I'll show you how I did it. Okay, so here's that little jig I made for wrapping the string around it to give it the illusion that you got extra rope hanging down on your deck. And I wrapped it around 4 times. Alright, right there. And then I took a little dab of super glue, because you got actually 2 strings, the string where you start and the string where you end, and put a little dab on each one of them, just a little dot to hold that string down, then trimmed it. And then I took my white glue and went across this, across the whole thing, and covered it in white glue. Now this one's probably already pretty dry. I did this about an hour ago. And then you just get them off of here. I usually take them off with a pair of tweezers. I hope this ain't stuck. There it is. And then you wind up with that. Now, if you use the white glue, it takes a while for it to dry up. So it's pretty manageable up until it starts setting up. And you can start manipulating it and folding it and getting it on there. And I was using a piece of wire. I'd get it on there with my tweezers. I'd grab a hold of it. Well, I'd grab a hold of it with the tweezers, get it on that belay pin, and then I'd take this piece of wire and stretch it out and bend it back so that when it's set up, when that white glue set up, it was in position. And you've seen from the pictures what it looks like. Now, on the back of the ship, because you got that step back there, there's less of a difference from the top of that rail to the deck. So I went over to my little belay pin jig and used that, because that's a little bit smaller. You can see that. Alright. So for everything up on the front part of the deck, or where I had room, I used this bigger one. On the back part of the deck, on them belay pins, I used this smaller one. That way I didn't have a bunch of it laying on the deck itself. Okay, we're going to get into a couple little facts and figures about the ship. And like I said, I'll give you my rating, and we're just going to do a little talking, and then that'll be it. And then I'll show you my pictures. Alright, so let's get into a few fun facts and figures on the ship. I had to put my little cheaters on for this. Alright, I paid $134 for the model, and I got it from Model Shipways or Model Expo, right from the manufacturer. I had a lot of stuff that I already had in my collection of different parts and things that I've had from other models, and like the brass tubing and stuff. But I did buy some other stuff, like the walnut that I did all my deck cabins and all that stuff out of. So I spent about another $120 on extra stuff. I did buy a little brass bell, but I got nowhere to put it. I don't know where I would put it on there. Nice little brass bell. Things like the rudder hinges I bought, the little portholes, stuff like that. little extra stuff, and some of the stuff I had in stock, like I said. So I got about another $120 vested in other stuff. So the whole thing comes out, probably I got about $240, $250 in the whole thing, counting the model and what I had to buy and what I had. That's counting paint and all that kind of stuff. All right. I got just about 815 hours in it. All right. And, you know, a lot of that was a lot of tedious stuff like the rat lines. That was pretty tedious, you know. But there's about 815 hours. That's a good round estimate. And I know that because I kept track of it here in the back of the book. Okay? So every time I did something, I wrote it down, and how many hours and what day it was. That is not counting video time. I have around 20 hours of video posted on YouTube. So there's 20 more hours you can add to that. Plus, you can figure another 10 or 15 hours of stuff that I filmed and edited out that never made it onto YouTube. So, but there's 20 hours of video, just around 20 hours of video on YouTube in 40 videos. I'm about 1 week shy of taking 8 months to do this. I started on it the last day of June, I believe it was. And let's see, today is Thursday. This video will be posted Sunday. What's that? Probably about the 21st or 22nd. So I'm about 1 week shy of 8 months to get her finished. All right. Now I'm gonna give you my rating on this model. I know I started out when I first, some of the first few videos I did, I was complaining a lot. One of the guys said I was bitching about some of the plans, some of the drawings, and some of the things I didn't see, wasn't too happy with some of the directions and things like that. But as I progressed and I started picking things out and realizing you have to work off of 2 or 3 different sheets of plans at the same time. So once I progressed and got about 3/4 of the way through, things really start falling together. The book of directions, once I got pretty far along, I didn't even pick them up anymore. I just started working right off the sheet of plans, and I haven't looked at the book for a couple months. But the directions, all right, let's do it like this. Let me give you my rating first, and then we'll talk about it. The parts, and that would be what they give you in the box. The wood they give you, the laser cut pieces they give you, the metal parts they give you, that all falls under parts. I give that a 4+. 4+ rating. Now I'm doing my rating on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best. So the parts I rated a 4+. The directions, I gave them a 4. That is the book of directions, all right? The plans, the big sheet of plans, I gave that a 4, all right? And I'll talk about this in a minute. And then the ship itself, once she's all done, and this does not go out to me because I feel I did a pretty decent job, but what they give you and what you can wind up with, I give that a 5+. That is a nice looking model. If you do what they tell you to do, and you add a few little extra touches, she deserves a 5+. She is that nice looking. All right, so let me talk about the parts. Why did I give the parts a 4+? Well, if you remember, if you watch some of the other videos, one of the laser cut parts was wrong. Did not fit the ship. Did not fit the plans. Did not fit the ship. I even got some comments from other guys that had the same problem. So, and they give you the wrong flag. They give you the maple leaf. That is not the proper flag. It's nice that they give you a flag, but it's the wrong flag. One good thing about it though is I have got all this wood left over. All that. I don't know what that's all about. There's even an extra dowel rod in here. So that's a lot of wood to be left over with a model when you're done. Other than the fact that I did use my walnut, so that would eat up some of this. But, you know, there's still quite a bit there. So I guess they give you for mistakes or whatever. Or maybe this is just a big bundle that fulfills 4 or 5 different models they got, and they just grab it and throw it in with each one. But I did wind up with an awful lot of wood left over. And here's something else. These here are all my blocks. All right. And these here are the dead eyes. Now, the bigger dead eyes, I only got 4 left of those. Oh, there comes another one, 5 left. The smaller dead eyes, I don't know what that was about. I only needed, what is it, 2, 4, 6, 8 of those, and I have got all those left. So I don't know why they give you so many of them. But the blocks, I got quite a few blocks left over. And let me tell you, I put a block wherever they said put a block. Honestly, I might be missing less than 4 or 5 on the ship because a couple things I didn't do. But I've got a lot of blocks left. Look at that. That's almost still, that's the 1/8 inch double. I think they give you 25 of them or something like that. I bet there's still 20 of them in there. But there's a lot of blocks. 1 left of the 1/8 inch single. I used a lot of them. There was a couple spots where they wanted you to use these real little bitty tiny 3/32. I just couldn't handle them. But you know, there was quite a few blocks left over. Also, I got this. You know, I did just about everything that the plans called for. What they said to put on, I put on. There was only a couple things I did not do, and here's one of them I might not do, and I'm not real happy with it the way it looks. And a lot of pictures on the ship, when you look at it, most of the pictures she was racing, and they stripped her down. So you don't see a lot of things on the ship that they show you on the plans. And another thing you have to remember, there are no original plans of this ship. I read that somewhere where the original plans never were, or they can't find them, or they don't have them. So whoever drew that sheet of plans up that come with the model, probably did it from looking at pictures and from other ships. But you know, like I'm saying, them sheets of plans that they give you are not 100% because the originals don't exist. But anyway, there's a few things I don't think I'm going to do, and I didn't do. And right here, those are the little lanterns, the red one and the green one, port and starboard. Painted them up, and they hang off of the rat lines. You're supposed to put a couple of pieces of wood up there and hang them off. I don't think I'm going to put them on there. I don't know. I'm not happy with the way they look and being on there. I don't know. Maybe down the road someday. Also, belay pins. Really, I didn't have enough. I've got holes drilled. Well, I probably did if I had not drilled these extra holes for that dory. But technically, I didn't have enough. I've got some holes where I don't have belay pins in them. So you might think about that, you know. And there was a lot of little rings that they had me put on the inside of the ship. I don't know what they were for. Nothing ties off onto them. Alright, but you do wind up with a lot of good little things, you know. I mean, these little things probably come in handy someday when I'm building another ship and they don't give you enough. And then I got some here. So that was nice. Alright, and the metal parts, you know, I had that one, the ship wheel. I had to get a hold of them and get a new one because it was bad. So I gave the parts a 4+. They were pretty decent, you know. Laser cut parts were all good except for that one. They all fit together real nice. The directions. I did find a couple things in the directions I thought were out of place. Once again, you'd have to remember and go back to some of my earlier videos with the way they wanted you to put that deck on. I think they had a couple things that were out of place that that weren't right. And this one page here that was so boogered up. They have writing on top of writing. I was missing part of the page. Luckily, someone else out there that was building this ship had a better book and emailed me this this picture of what this is supposed to be. So you know, that's bad news on their part. Catch that stuff, fix it before you send out something like this. And like I said, there's a couple other little things in here I didn't agree with the way they had them, and so that's why I rated the direction a 4. They're not bad, but they got a lot to be desired. The plans, the big sheet of plans. There's 6 sheets of plans. I had said before they should have made one more with just the sails on it, just the sails, so you could get your patterns cut out instead of trying to figure it out of that one sheet with all that crap on there. And the plans, they're over 20 years old when those were drawn. Now they need to update that because, like I talked about before, they got sizes of string on there that they don't give you. They got sizes of blocks on there they don't give you. So you have to go through the direction book and see what they're substituting for this and that. Well, why not just update your plans and put on there the right sizes and what you're giving you? All right, man, that's my little thing. So, I rated the sheet of plans 4 because they do need to be updated, and there does need to be another sheet with just the sails on it. And like I said, you'll be working off of 2 or 3 different sheets at the same time, so keep that in mind. And the string, they gave me 6 different kinds of string, 3 black and 3 brown, which I used very little of it because, like I said, it was like a nylon coated string. So I do have about 6 different sizes of string on this ship. I did use a little bit of theirs, especially on my Deadeyes. I used their string on that. But yeah, you're gonna, like I said before, I don't believe they give you near enough, So my suggestion, once again, is go out and get your own string and get plenty of it. So that's it, and the overall ship, a 5+. What can I say? You'll see it. You'll see what I got done. Okay, so here it is the next day. I've been taking pictures all day. I probably went through about 75, like I said, 75 or 80 pictures I took. Started just, going through them. I was using 2 different cameras. I got a nice 35mm, but I don't know how to use it. That's a hobby in itself. So you might see a little difference in some of the pictures. The 35mm, they come out a little clear, but they're, I don't know, the color's off a little bit. They're a little darker in color and that. But anyway, I condensed it down to about 30 shots. So I got 30 pictures coming up. A little over 2 minutes worth of pictures. And it's pretty sad. 8 months worth of work down to 2 minutes worth of pictures. All right, so here we go. Okay, so there she is, my version of the Bluenose. She's all done. That's it. Goes on display somewhere here in the apartment if I can find some room for it. And that's another thing. A couple guys are probably looking at it and saying, well, hey, you got the sails on it, but your display looks like she's in dry dock. Well, the display was one of the most important things to me, to hold that ship firm. I did not want to put this on a shelf somewhere and somebody slam a door and it fall off. That is sturdy. I mean, it's rock solid. It's not glued, it's not fastened to it, it comes right out of it. But I can pick that whole model up right by that display base. Just grab it with one hand and pick it up with no worry of it falling over. So, you know, it is what it is. I do want to thank everybody that's really hung in there with me, and you five guys know who you are. But you know, I made a lot of friends on this one. A lot of people from in other countries, and that's pretty neat. I never thought this would happen to me. It only took me 65 years of my life to do this, to make friends with somebody from another country. But I really do appreciate everyone that has watched it, has commented on it, good or bad. I've had a couple of them got on me about things, but you know what? And I'm the kind of guy, you know, you want to get into a good argument, I'm there for you. Now, I won't take some of that bullcrap. If I know you're a troll or something, I will kick you off. But, you know, I've had a couple good arguments with a couple guys. One guy hung around, another guy kind of disappeared. But I do want to thank everybody that's watched. My YouTube channel really took off when I built this thing. I'm up over 100 and I think about 110,000 hits. And it's not all from this, but it really took off once I started this. And my subscription really shot up. I'm up over 520, I think it is. But, you know, I'm not out there for that. You know, I do check it. I do look at it. You know, you'd be a fool if you didn't. But, you know, I'm not out there putting these out to be Mr. Popular. You know, it's not me. I'd be doing this, you know, with or without yous. I just, you know, my son talked me into doing this, and then once I got started on it, you know, I just couldn't quit. There is a couple times I started to walk away from it. You know, I did have about a week there right around, I think when I was planking it, that I just had to get away from it for a while. I walked away from it about a week, but I was committed to you guys to keep this up. So that's what's kept me going, is the people that have watched and commented. And, you know, that's about it. I will be back. You know, now I'll probably drop off. I notice I get more hits on my wooden ships than I do my plastic ships. And, but, you know, they do take it out of you. 8 months worth of my life sitting in here almost every day of the week doing something on this thing, whether it be for 4 hours or 10 hours. It does take it out of you. Like I said before, I really got to hand it to the guys that would get this done and then pick up another one and start right on it. But I will be back. Like, you know, if anybody, I know I'll have a whole bunch of hits on this one. Probably a lot of people have never seen any of the other videos. So I will be back, but it's going to be a little while. I told you why in the last video. A matter of fact, today I went out and spent a few bucks on my stamps. So it'll probably be a plastic model. I think I already got it figured out. It's going to be a naval ship. So unless something else comes up, I've been looking for a couple models that are not out yet. They keep saying, they said they were going to be out in 2014, and now they're saying sometime in 2015. So if one of them comes out, I might grab one of them instead. So once again, it's been a fun experience. It's been enjoyable reading some of the comments and making new friends. And I really appreciate everybody that is participated in this along with me. So thanks again, everybody. See you later. Okay, I can never just end a video and walk away. If anybody's watched my videos, I just don't know when to shut up. I forgot one very important person to thank, and that's my wife, for putting up with me for the past 8 months in this room almost all day long sometimes. Like I said before in one of my earlier videos, this room also doubles as her art studio. She's got a little art table there, and she has basically given that up so that I could have this room for a month, 8 months. So you know, it pays to have a good person like that, a nice sweetie that gave me the time to do this. And there again, you know, I was building this for her. You know, it was what she wanted. She wanted a nice sailboat up on display, and you can see it's already gone. I already got it out in the other room on display. So this was for her, and for everything that she has put up with me, and my way of saying thank you to her. So it pays to treat them good, because you take care of your sweetie and she'll take care of you. Okay, that's for sure. That is it. All right. Bye. Yeah. Yeah, buddy.